What's up, y'all? My name is Deidra, and this is going to be ShadeTree Read. I'm going to do the Booktube Newbie Tag. Too long, don't read. Consistency and not procrastinating. Hopefully, I can answer these questions and get some of these nerves out, and then start making some videos about books, because that's ultimately what we're here to do. I just really love reading, so let's go straight to the questions. Oh, before I start, I don't really remember who, I can look into it, but I don't know who started the Booktube Newbie Tag. I have them written down in my notebook, and I've been marinating on starting this channel, recording this video. I've had all this stuff just here and ready to go, and I've let my nerves get the best of me, but we're here, we're recording it. Hopefully I'll be able to edit this and it'll go out into the world. If not, let's light this incense. And then let's try to make this do what it do. Okay, so the first question I have is, why did you start this channel? And honestly, I started this channel because I don't see that many people my age on Booktube. And I'm only 36, and that's not that old, but in the realm of Booktube, it kind of is 2017 going into 2018. So 3 to 2 years ago, when I got back into reading on a regular basis, I just didn't have anybody to talk to about the books. I didn't have anybody to, other than my mom. I have a few friends who read in real life. They read different stuff than I do. So I just didn't have anybody to talk to. And then something happened on Twitter right around the time that I got on Twitter, in the book community, and I ran across somebody's tweet that was just so weird, and I started seeing people replying to it. I'll have to go back, and maybe I'll insert a little clip of, no, I don't need to go into that, but some book Twitter drama happened, and that is how I became aware of Booktube, and then really started reading again, like pretty much making it a part of my everyday routine. So here we are in 2020, and I've just been following and subscribing to more people who are a part of the book community on social media, and I've just been really chomping at the bit to try to like ease my way in there and be able to talk about some of these things that I'm reading that I just really love. So that's why I started this channel, and hopefully I can be consistent. And on to the next question, number 2. What are some fun and unique things you bring to Booktube? I don't know that I bring anything unique necessarily, or fun for that matter. I just want to be able to talk about books to people who read either the same books or who just love to read. And so that's why I'm here, is just to be able to get this out of me and into other people, and maybe even form a new circle and just connect with people who like to read. Question number 3. Number 3 says, what are you most excited for about the new channel? Really, as part of what I just said in question number 2, I am just excited to be able to talk about books, just to be able to connect with people about books, and that's really what I'm most excited for. So yeah, that's my answer for number 3. Question number 4 is, why do you love reading? No a good answer for that, or what I guess I could say if I had to say why, is it allows for an escape. Reading allows for diving into a world that is different from your own, or maybe just like your own but tweaked a little. It just is it just helps you get your imagination and get it cranking, and go to another world and experience characters and make friends, or even lovers in a book. Like, I mean, we all have a book boyfriend. I couldn't really name one right now because I haven't been reading romance in a while, and I don't remember my last book boyfriend. But I'm saying everybody has book boyfriends or girlfriends or crushes or people that we wish were real. So those type of things are why I love reading, because it helps augment my world, essentially. Question number 5. What book series got you into reading? Book or series got you into reading? Okay. What book or series got you into reading? It's question number 5. I can't say what got me into reading, because like I said already, I have been reading pretty much all of my life, or my mom has been reading to me. So what I can say is the book that got me back into reading when I had taken some years off, or just like really long hiatuses, is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. That book, I read it, I think, from like December 2017 into 2018, and that book just like rocks my world, because I had it on audiobook, and I also think I borrowed it from the library. I got it on audiobook on Audible, the 10th anniversary edition, and I loved it. I couldn't really explain it to you, the premise of it, but American Gods by Neil Gaiman is such an interesting story. It has such an atmosphere. I love Gaiman's writing. If you like fantasy, you will like that probably, just because it's so unique. And I especially recommend getting it on audiobook on Audible, the 10th anniversary edition. I haven't watched the show. I probably won't watch it. I'm scared to watch it because I really love that book. And I don't want anything to be different. I don't want anything to be messed up. I don't know. I just probably won't watch the show for a long time. It might be the one book I reread, because I'm not really a rereader. But after I finished that, I started reading every single day. So there's that for number 5. What questions would you like? Oh, this is number 6. What questions would you like to ask your favorite booktubers? I don't know. Some of my favorite booktubers are Lauren over at the Novel Lush. Even though she's kind of been away for a little bit, I miss her. I want to hear what she has to say about any book she's reading. She's one of the first booktubers, black booktubers, just probably even booktubers in general, that I ever was introduced to. And I think it was about whatever that book Twitter drama was that I was talking about for my question for number 1 or number 2. My answer for number 1 or number 2 is how I was introduced to her. And she has still been my favorite, even though we don't even really like the same books. And some of the books that we do read in common, we have different opinions on, but she's my OG. I love her. Boom. Favorite booktuber. And I can't even really think of anything that I would like to ask her. How's she doing? Are you okay? I forgot what country you moved to, but how you doing? How the puppies? Love you. We're gonna move on to question number 7. What challenge do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? That would be probably me. Let me read that again. Number 7 is, what challenge do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Yeah, I think me in multiple ways would be what would be the hardest challenge to overcome is overthinking. I mean, I pretty much look like this on a daily basis. I don't wear much makeup, if makeup at all, because I don't go out anymore. But I look like this every day, and you know, I realize that you probably can get more views and more subscribers and more followers if I had more makeup, if my hair was straight, or if, I mean, I'm gonna be on my channel at some point with my titties out, and I change my hair a lot, but for the most part, I look like this on a daily basis, and you know, that is something that I don't really want to hear a lot of shit about. Because like, I'm not gonna change it for anybody unless it's something that I want to do. If I want to straighten my hair, I will, but I hardly ever want to straighten my hair because it doesn't like to be fucking straight. So that's that, and I have to get over my own whatever insecurities or whatever about looking like this on the internet. The second thing would be I tend to overthink things, and I want things to be perfect in one take, and I tend to get discouraged if that's not the case. And so like, even if I have to re-record this, and doesn't make it into the final cut, you know, I'm gonna be upset that I had to re-record this on my iPhone in the guest bedroom the very first time I'm making a video on Booktube. So I have to learn to be more patient with myself. I have to be more lenient with myself while also not procrastinating. That's the third thing that I could say would be another thing that I am worried about being a challenge to overcome for starting a Booktube channel is I make it a priority to read every single day, whether it's for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes 2 hours. Sometimes that's all I do when I get off work. Sometimes that's all I do at work is listen to an audio book when I'm just putting in data and doing things that don't take much thinking. Some days all my job is thinking. So, you know, it just varies. So I'm reading every day or consuming pages every single day. But whether or not I will consistently get in front of the camera, set up the camera, wash my face, put lotion on, grease my elbows and my lips with some Vaseline, and make a video talking about the books that I read, that's a challenge that I think I will have to overcome. And if too long, don't read. Consistency and not procrastinating. Number 8, when did you start reading? Like I said, I don't remember when I ever was not reading. My mom was always reading something to me growing up. So I probably read, when I could read for myself, I was probably like 7 or 8. And I remember reading things like Bruce Coville, My Teacher is an Alien, R.L. Stein, all the Goosebumps and the Fear Street and all of that stuff. And Sweet Pickles, the Author and Friends books, Berenstein Bears. I mean, just Lois Duncan was my jam. So this is like late elementary school, 3rd, 4th grade into middle school. Middle school, I was reading the R.L. Stein, and this is when I started sneaking into my mom's books, probably around middle school. And my mom had, because I wanted more, and I wanted Black people. I wanted Black people in my literature, my books, on my covers. I wanted Black people in my books. So when I was in middle school, that was probably around 96, 1997 to 1994. That's when I was in middle school. And there wasn't things like there was no Jason Reynolds, there was no Nick Stone, there wasn't any people writing contemporary fiction for middle grade black kids, or just black. That didn't exist. So I was reading my mom's Eric Jerome Dickey. She didn't know it, and don't judge my mama. I love my mama. I just recently, probably within the last year, told her that I had snuck into her books and was reading her Elin Harris and her Zane and her Terry McMillan and her B.B. Moore Campbell and her what is her name? Brenda Jackson, and her Carl Weber. One of my favorite things that I read that she had on her shelf, and I don't even think this person writes anymore, but it was called Four Guys in Trouble, and it was by Marcus Major. That was a book that I remember in middle school loving, and it was romance, and it was black people, and I don't even remember that much about it. I need to repurchase it and reread it. But Milk in My Coffee was one of my favorite Eric Jerome Dickey books. I didn't even know what Zane was talking about. I knew I shouldn't have been reading it, but I was in black people. The bottom line was there were black people in it. That's what I wanted in middle school. Then once I had read all that, she had nice bookshelves, like the bookshelves they all have on Booktube now. She had those with the wood grain. But once I flew through that in the middle of the night with a flashlight under my under my comforter, I started going back. I started going to the library because I was old enough to ride the bus to school or ride the city bus to the public library, and I would go and check out let's see. In high school, I remember being introduced to Harry Potter, but I don't remember reading much else in high school other than what the teachers made us read. So I remember I was introduced to Harry Potter, or either, I think in high school, the first movie was coming out, and I wanted, it was magic. I was very intrigued by magic because I like fantasy. I read A Wrinkle in Time around that time. But I remember the first Harry Potter movie was coming out. So I read the first 3 books. I pushed my way through the first 2. I hated them. They were so kiddie. And then the 3rd one was cool. The 4th one was my jam. And the first movie came out. So anyways, that is what I started reading. And then I remember getting all the rest of the Harry Potter books when they came out and going to the movies for the midnight release from that point. Up until the very last movie, and I think I was a full-grown ass adult when the last movie came out. Question number 9. Where do you read? Like I already said, I read at work. Sometimes when I can. I have an administrative job, so sometimes I'm just doing data entry, and it doesn't take much thinking. It's just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, save, email, done. Save and print, email, done. And so I can listen to a book and be engaged and retain the information when I'm just doing that. But other times I can't. So if I can't read at work or during the work day, I don't read on my lunch breaks really, because I hardly ever take breaks. But when I do, it's not for reading. It's very quick. If I'm not reading at work, then I'm reading in the morning when I wake up, because I like to wake up pretty early because it takes me a long time to wake up and get out of a stank ass mood. So I wake up, and it takes, like I said, it takes me such a long time to get up and moving and ready to get dressed and being able to socialize with other people and like assume my human form. I read at my desk in the morning while I'm drinking my coffee. And that's like my favorite time, really, I could say, to read. or it's like 5:30 in the morning, or when I can't sleep. If I can't sleep or I've been awoken because I'm a light sleeper, I love to get up and read early in the morning or real late at night. That's my favorite. And that's at my desk, which eventually, if I, like I said, am consistent with this channel, you'll see my desk, you'll see my bookshelf, which is in another room, and that area is pretty loud most times of the day until like 11. So I probably won't film too much in there, but you will eventually see my bookshelf. And the last question is number 10. What kind of books do you like to read? I like everything. I'm not too big on... Nope, I won't even say it. I like everything. My favorite though would be fantasy or like a mystery. Those two are my favorite. I like romance. I like nonfiction. I especially like historical. Probably all nonfiction, but like things about historical figures, especially political figures, things in American history with like medical stuff is like my jam, because it's mostly really fucked up and you just really don't you're really like, wow, this country really did that. So I like to read about that so I can just I hate reading anything to do with slaves. I'm just so over that. Give me literally anything else but slaves or slave narratives or historical fiction or historical romance set in slavery. I liked Rebel. We read Rebel for Blackathon by Beverly Jenkins. It was a historical romance, and it was post-war, and it was like the freedmen trying to rebuild their lives, and I was okay with that, but I'm just so over. Give me something else. give me something else. Okay, so that is the last question for the Booktube Newbie. I hope you feel like you know me a little bit better. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I am going to try while I got my nerves and I got my drink and the incense is still burning. I'm probably going to change my shirt and do another video just while I got my nerves up and my phone is charged. So I haven't figured out an outro. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.